Okay, UCHE MEFOR is speaking. As condemnations trail the attacks on police stations and correctional centers in Imo State, Head of Information and Communication of the Biafra de facto customary government, BCG, of Mujahid Asari Dokubo, UCHE MEFOR has expressed disappointment at Southeast governors for not adequately protecting the lives and properties of the people of the zone. MEFOR, in a statement released on Sunday, Sun in Owerri, also indicted the state houses of assembly in the zone for not making an enabling law to guarantee the safety of the lives of the people. He affirmed that the governor's inadequacies would lead to the people defending themselves with whatever they have, thereby constituting anarchy. There must be an enabling law or regulation, and this is the responsibility of both the state houses of assembly members and the governors, in this case Biafra land, where the government fails to protect lives and properties and the people's lives are endangered. Then the people, including non-state actors, have rights to defend themselves against violence and aggression directed against them. The governors and the state houses of assembly members in Biafra land have been called upon to take their responsibilities seriously in the area of protection of lives and property, because not doing so is a direct invitation to anarchy, lawlessness and chaos, MEFOR said. MEFOR stated further that he was not surprised at the formation of the Eastern Security Network ESN by Nnamdi Kanu, adding that more would surely come up to defend their interests. Unfortunately, they have disappointed everyone by leaving a gap while arms are now in the hands and control of unregulated non-state actors. The danger is that going forward, there is a possibility of proliferation of militia groups and private armies. ESN is a militia standing army controlled by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, so expect other militia groups to come up in defense of their various interests unless there is collaboration across board. Meanwhile, MEFOR has frowned at the preferential treatment given to bandits and the killer herdsmen, adding that if the Fulani herdsmen could be identified to be behind some killings in the country and recently in Ebonyi and Enugu states, they do not deserve mercy and should equally be labeled as terrorists. Well, whatever MEFOR has said, that is just the truth. And MEFOR, I think it was with not I think he was with Nnamdi Kanu, and from what he's saying is justifying the formation of a Eastern Security Network. And the whole thing is the blame goes to the people who are saddled with the responsibilities of taking care of lives and property, protecting them, but they are not doing it. And you don't expect people, because you can't defend them. A typical example of what happened is what happened in Enugu and Ebonyi. And the Northerners are not even seeing anything about this whole thing. I'm just even trying to digress, because the only thing they are telling us is that they are keeping quiet, that their people are being killed. And we are like, for real? Your people are being killed. And all of the things that the people in the southern part of the country are complaining about is none of your business. And they want to make it the norm that, it is southerners that are killing them without anything being done, without no just cause. Let me put it that way. So everything that MEFOR has said is just what everybody has been saying. And I was even thinking, remember that Uwazurike, who is with Masop, he said, everybody was thinking that he was going to condemn Nnamdi Kanu, that the people who are behind these things is the federal government, this government itself that is behind all these things, that it should just not just divert attention, calling IPOB or Eastern Security Network. That is not the case, and exactly what MEFOR is still standing on. That why should you be talking about people who are not even concerned about this whole thing, but what they are concerned about is the Fulani herdsmen in the forest. And there's an agenda for ESN and IPOB to be seen as the people behind this whole thing. And everybody, those well-meaning Nigerians know what is happening. So those who want to believe all those narratives, but it's beginning to show, because we heard from the governor of the state, Imo State, and Okorocha. There's this back and forth between the two of them. It is not IPOB, it is a political whatever, it is whatever. It was a Masop that came out and said they should just forget about labeling IPOB. that they are the ones, or Eastern Security Network behind it. Of course, you know that at some point, Wazirike was telling Nnamdi Kanu to hand over Eastern Security Network to the government, and we're like, where were you all this while? Why is it that the government cannot they can't even do their own, form their own security, regional security outfit? And also, MEFOR is saying that more of these things are coming, more of these groups are coming if you don't do the needful. If you don't do the needful, what people are just interested in is for them to be secured. And as it is now, the government is not ready to do anything. They're not ready to do anything. So MEFOR is now working for Asari Dokubo, who represents a people. People don't really know who they are and what they need in Nigeria. Who are content with a pittance, which drives them to abhor their neighbors. ESN is not defending their own interest. It is in the interest of everyone, including you, MEFOR. Be careful. MEFOR is a sellout, has lost its voice and relevance. MEFOR, now your head and eyes open. I can remember when you used to broadcast and preach anarchy, instigate barbarism on security operatives. Now that the effects of your old preaching has affected you, your eyes suddenly open to the evil of satanic agents. Thank God for Asari Dokubo, who have now opened your eyes to see the evil of killing one's brother from the same region just for the sake of his working to feed his family as a police or army. Ojukwu was not that foolish and idiotic. My concern is that instead of championing a positive cause for a people known and regarded as having been defeated at war, Igbo politicians are busy amassing wealth to showcase affluence and also intimidate their already dehumanized populace. How come only those with built-up muscles are engaged as guards and those in need wards off to avoid closeness to the so-called distinguished and honorables? I am ashamed of the Igbo politicians. Everybody's entitled to his opinion and they are seeing things differently. But in a nutshell, what this man is saying is that if the government and the people who are saddled with the responsibility are not doing their work very well, all these groups will still come up, and that is it. How long did it take Eastern Security Network to come up after when they have seen that these guys are not ready? And at the end of the day, this man came out and told the whole world, the governor of Imo State, Uzodinma, that Eastern Security Network, they stole the name, while they were planning. And meanwhile, the other governor, Ebonyi governor, says that they don't have any plan for all this formation of all this security or regional security, as you may call it. And meanwhile, he has been deceiving people, and people have been waiting. Oh, these guys are forming this. Even as of January, they told us that they were almost ready all of a sudden. And that was the reason why Eastern Security came up, and because they have seen that these guys were not ready to protect anybody. And now they are crying. So guys, let's hear your opinion concerning what MEFOR has said.